who's in your power ranking?
All right, so nothing really changed as far as my top five. It's just the order is a little bit different. So last week I had San Francisco at number one, Baltimore at number two. This week I have that flip. Baltimore at one, San Francisco at two, Miami at three. There were three last week. Dallas at four. There were four last week, and then Detroit rounding out my top five. So I didn't drop San Francisco too far. Like I said, I still think they'll be in the Super Bowl. They just ran against a good team with the wrong game plan. I think they'll adjust. I didn't move Miami, and I didn't drop Dallas, too much either. So, because they lost to Miami, right? You faced a really good team. You lost, I think, by 2 points or something like that. So I didn't necessarily drop them, and I didn't move Philly up just yet, even though they won, because that game that they won was still questionable, whether they would win or not. So they still got to prove some things to me that they belong in the top five. Same with some other teams like Kansas City. They look terrible. There's a lot of teams, I think, that are right on that 6, 7, 8 bubble. But those are my top five: Baltimore, San Fran, Miami, Dallas, and Detroit.
Yeah, I basically have the same teams as you, except I dropped Kansas City from fifth and I put Cleveland in there. I have Baltimore as number one, with Miami at number two, Philly at three, San Francisco at four, and then I have Cleveland. Cleveland, I don't know how they're doing it, because they have a great defense, but then they have a quarterback that
they're surviving his turnovers. He's doing some good things. Don't get me wrong.
265 yards passing to just one guy. You have to get some lucky breaks for that to happen. And I just feel like, I heard some chatter about making Stefanski coach of the year. But then, who's his competition for coach of the year? The Detroit? Because, it's been 30 years since they won the division.
Detroit, Baltimore. Do we ignore what Baltimore is doing?
I don't know, because I don't know. Is it coaches because coaches get challenged, or if you have a really good team like Baltimore, doesn't really matter because you have a good team. So I don't know.
But they've been no one's rooted for them or saw them as like legitimate Super Bowl contenders, right? For the most part, the national media has kind of put them as that like second or even third tier to teams like Kansas City or Miami. And I think it's only now that they're realizing that, Baltimore is a good team. So I'm not saying Baltimore isn't. I'm just saying Harbaugh's done a good job keeping that team focused on winning. And, whatever they're doing, it's been working. So, and it's not to say Stefanski doesn't deserve to be in there. Hey, 10 wins when your star quarterback has been out for like multiple weeks now. You're figuring out a way with your defense to stay afloat, stay in contention. That's great. He deserves to be in that conversation too.
Your quarterback's out, your star running back is out. So that's what I'm saying is that why his name is popping up about coach of the year? Because
it should.
He's doing more with less, basically what I'm saying. So that's why I have him in there as
Miami
number 5.
Coach too, right? You should be in there.
If you're having Hard Knocks follow you in season, I don't know about that. I feel like you're walking into the hype train. You're like, oh sure, put me on TV every week. Sure, I'll do that. That's just my take. I don't feel like somebody who loves the limelight as much as that Coach McDaniel does. He really deserves Coach of the Year.
I just don't think he shies away from it. I don't think he loves it. I don't see it that way at all. I just think he doesn't shy away from it.
Well, not shying away is basically saying yes. Because if you say, no, this might disrupt my team, then you say, no, I don't want Hard Knocks. But I feel like he's open to it. He's like, hey, no, yes, sure, bring in the cameras. Whatever you want to film. You want to film me practicing? You want to film me calling plays? Sure. I feel like Does he have a team that with Super Bowl aspirations,
Of
or
course
you
he
just
does.
want to?
That's just confident.
the
He's
division?
showing, hey, it doesn't matter what you see. I want to show. I'm going to continue to be who I am. Right. I think that just shows confidence in him, who he is, in himself, and and the team. And I think the team sees that and they follow him, and it's been good. Listen, there's been a lot of questions about how good is Tua. Their defense started off the year. I know they had some injuries; they didn't play that well, but I think he's done a pretty outstanding job managing the team.
He's 1-3 against 500 teams. That's his only
500
downfall.
better. Mm-hmm.
That's his only downfall. But hey, if that's working, keep doing it.
Yeah,
keep doing it. You're 11-4 right now. Keep doing it. I mean, that's being picky, saying like, oh, they can't be above 500 teams. Well, they're still doing it. And they just beat Dallas recently. So,